Hello tubers, this is Robert 28 1979. Hey guys, y'all see I've done some more of these rings here. Due to a chain of events I had to leave today, so I was hoping to have 6 of them done, but that didn't happen. So I'm hoping to get the rest of these done by lunchtime tomorrow, so I can get them all ground down, get all the inner edges cleaned up, and then they'll be completed and out of here. What I was making a video of is the 444. I've already taken the hood off, took this oil cooler off, and I'll let y'all see from my previous video. Well, that don't give you a lot of in-depth opening there. As y'all can see, the pulley is now back by the mower. It's supposed to be set up here, where the last person put it together had it. And I've actually, you can't really tell and see there, but I actually have it where there's 0.02 gap with it open. Because from what this paperwork that I printed off of, actually it was a Yahoo. My mind's going blank. Anyway, there is groups on Yahoo, and there's one called Case Garden Tractor. I am a member of that, and under their files you can get this attachment drive clutch for models 210, 220, 222, 224, and so on and so forth. But the only thing I found with these is all of them show a bolt going in or having a lock ring like that. This one does not. And let me flip through this a second and I'll show y'all another thing here. Don't mind the camera, it's going to be a little bouncy for a second. You might get a little dizzy watching it by how shaky it's going to be. Oh, let's get back here. Okay. Now this one says here, attachment drive clutch with 2-piece hub shaft and hub assembly retained by bolt. No snap ring. Okay. So I tried to follow this one. The same thing. Like on this one, the shaft comes out. It's got a piece of all thread in there instead of a bolt, which is fine by me. And this piece here actually goes through the fan. It's different on this one and my 222. It's got a big old sleeve over nut's what I call it, which is just a piece like that, but it's got a small nut on top of like 1 3/4 inches, and then it slides over the top of that, and it slides over that to where you can see it right there behind that fan. Of course, with my light, you can't see crud, but right, oh, that makes it even worse. Wow. But see if I can get a pair of pliers to kind of point it. Right there is that sleeve over nut. And it slides over the top. There's that little nut, small piece on the inside here, and the sleeves over it. And you can actually loosen and tighten. That's how you adjust for your clutch gap here. None of this PDF file that I downloaded shows that setup. But there is one here, if I can find the page here. There it is, right there. Clutch assembly was original with model 220, 222, 442, and 444 tractors prior to serial number 9641001. And again, shows right there the bolt and the washer going through the fan. Doesn't show the sleeve over nut set up like what I got. But insert B shows here. Or inset B. Which that even shows a groove for a snap ring, which shows right there, snap ring. So I got to wondering here, well, what the heck's going on, and yeah, excuse me. You'll see here, it's a 444-78, so it was made in 78. But my product identification number is 9754036. So my only conclusion is on this PDF download here that I printed off is for, I'm assuming, probably 76 and older. So not a whole lot of good it did for me, but it actually gave me an idea of how it all went back together. And between that and just trying to remember back when I tore the 222 off and motor off and did a motor swap, of how it all came apart. And luckily I was able to pull it up in my memory banks inside my Rolodex head that tends to lose papers and files like crazy, so I was actually to remember it. So I've already got that all done up, fixed back where it's supposed to be, all adjusted within tolerance, because it's supposed to be adjusted within 0.002 to 0.007, which is 2,000ths to 7,000ths gaps, which are allowed. And right now it's kind of on the tight side of 2,000, so it's actually probably about 1.5, and I probably need to go back in and loosen her up a bit, but I'm not going to, because it works for me. So that is the update on this. Like I said, I still got to take all this apart. I need to pull this fuel line off and check it and see if I got any plugs in the line, because when I started it, let it go, I never did get fuel to the bowl, because it never would pick up and run on its own. So I'm also going to take this off and go through that carburetor just as a safety precaution to see, kind of blow back through the fuel line, make sure there's nothing plugging it up, and then I'll probably end up cutting the fuel line, putting an inline fuel filter in it, cut a bunch of it off to shorten it up like it's supposed to be, because that's just way too much fuel line hanging everywhere. And this wire here, y'all see dangling, that's actually for the headlights. I thought maybe they did away with it, but they had it all tucked up in here like so, so I didn't know. Finally pulled it all out and I'll hook all that back up. But I'm also, as you can see here, leaking a little bit of oil, and from the looks of it, it's coming from the valve cover here, valve adjustment cover. So I'll probably take all that apart, clean it all back up, and put a little thin film of gasket maker on it to seal it all back up. The same with the sorry, just same thing with this cover and the point cover and all that other crud. Probably pull the fuel pump off, put a little bit around the back of it, put it back on, just so I know it's all sealed and not going to be leaking oil. I said this line, as you see, you saw a drip here. This line is leaking off this hose. I'm going to take this clamp loose and pull it back here some and reclamp it. This hose has actually been replaced, but it's hard as a rock. It's not stiff at all. You can see this top one is stiff, or sorry, not stiff, but I can push into it. It's still soft. This thing is just like hard as a rock. And it's just, I don't know where the hose come from or what. I have no clue, but I'll probably end up seeing if I can crimp this hose off with some vice grips or something to stop the flow of oil, so I can try to take this hose off and replace it. But until then, I'm just going to try to tighten it up so I can get it to quit leaking. It's leaking the oils everywhere. I don't like it. Ugh. I'm sorry guys, I've been dealing with a head cold or something coming on. Been stopped up, headaches, eyes been hurting and burning real bad. And, oh, it's just a mess. So, and of course smoking doesn't help, which, hey look, it's leaking from this end of it too. Yeah. That hose needs to be replaced. But, as I say, smoking probably doesn't help. But, my plans are when I go in for back surgery, the way it sounds, I'll be in the hospital for about a week. From the sound of it, like, I really don't know if I'll be in there that long, but my thoughts and plans are, because you're not allowed to smoke in or around the hospital here anymore, so my thought is that'll work. Maybe then I'll try to go ahead and try to quit smoking then. So, because I don't want my kids picking up on it, the bad habit of smoking. I mean, I watched mom and mother smoke, and everybody I knew smoked. So, I don't contribute that to me smoking. That was an idiot move I made on my own. But I really don't want my kids to pick up on it. So, light another one. But, I'm going to try to quit when I go in for surgery. I'll probably see about getting some, Chantix or something like that. And see if I can get her done. So, but I still haven't been able to figure out what deck this is. Because according to the Yahoo group forum, there's a, I think there's a SM, a JM, JRM or something, 48s, mower decks. I mean, there's just a whole different variety. And I know this is a 48-inch deck because y'all can see this decal is pretty much roached. You can't read anything on it. But I can make out on the model number kind of off in here. You can barely make it out a 4 and an 8. So I don't know if it's a JRM or a S or what, but I know it's a 48-inch mower deck. So if anybody out there sees this video and has any idea, feel free to shoot me a message or comment or something, kind of let me know. Because all in all, I'm still fairly new to these tractors, these little cases. Granted, the 222 I've had for almost a year. With the motor swap and everything else, I figured out some of it, but I'm still, I said the other one was missing parts off the mower deck, so that's why I went ahead and dropped it and sent it to the scrap yard. Even though I was smart enough to save that young pulley. Yeah, there's a spider there. That's the other one was called the wildlife, y'all, or whatever. But I saved this pulley off of it. So, which my buddy was over here and he made the comment and asked me why don't I just go ahead and take all that stuff off and convert this to a electric clutch on the front for the mower versus the manual. Well, true enough, I've got this electric clutch and I've got this electric clutch. But why change something when it's originally manual? Why go and convert to electronic clutch for? I mean, for one, there's not a keyed shaft on there. This has to have a keyed shaft. So does that one. So what's the use of doing that when I can use this for other things? But nonetheless, it's where it is. It is what it is, and I've got that fixed. I'm happy with it. I just gotta get that hose replaced, get a battery on this thing, get the fuel system figured out, and get this puppy up and running and ready to rock and roll. And by all means, if that motor ever does crap out on me or whatever, I've got this Color Magnum 17 horse, which is the original motor that came off of that Ford LGT 17H I had. So, which everybody knows the motor that was on it was 18 horse, and I put it on the Case 222. But I've got to do some stuff on this one. You can see that carburetor's in pretty rough shape. There's a lot of rust in it. And a lot of it looked like it went down into the cylinders. Yep, there's a bunch of it down there. Because they just kind of left this thing wide open. So it's going to have a little bit of work on her. It was smoking. It ran good, but it was smoking. So I'll probably end up tearing it down anyways and put new rings in it. And maybe make it a winter project to rebuild that motor. Which I'm currently rebuilding this motor. For a buddy of mine. This is the second time it's been here. How do you like the JB Weld? Yeah. It's a Briggs & Stratton Vanguard, guys. It's a POS. It was blown when he got it. He decided, oh, let's put a new piston in it. And turned out it was the only thing wrong with it to begin with was Briggs decided when they built the Vanguard, we're going to put a valve seal under the intake valve. But we're not going to put one around the exhaust valve. Well, what I did, I had them buy 4 valve seals, and I went in and I put one under each intake and one under each exhaust. So it's not blowing oil, but now he's blowing out the rings on the cylinder. And he's like, well, can I just buy a ring for one side? And I said, no. If you're going to do it, we're going to do it right. We're going to pull both of them out, re-ring both cylinders. We're not going to do one because guaranteed you do it, you put it back together a month, a week, a year, who knows, the other side's going to blow those rings out of that side. Then you're back to doing the same thing all over again. But anyways, enough on that stuff. That'll be a video in itself. So will the 17H. So yeah, I'm ready to get this thing up and moving under its own power and get it out of here, get it outside. And then when the weather starts turning bad, I'll bring this one and the 222 and keep them in the shop. Because I really don't want it sitting out in the snow. Especially the 222 with the stacks on it. That wouldn't be too great. But it is what it is. So anyway, I'm about to go ahead and end this video so I can get this all put back together. And then I'll get more videos on it as I go. I'm going to clean all the spilt beer off this seat and down there. I told the guy when he brought it to me, yeah, you could have left that crap at your house instead of leaving it on here, but he wouldn't do it. So, but I'm going to get all that cleaned up, and then that seat's going to come off. I'm going to put that seat back here laying on the ground with the armrest, everything on here, and save this seat for something else since it's practically brand new, just filthy. I'll use it on some other mower or something. So I'd rather have a high back seat than a low back seat anyhow. But anyways, I'm going to end this video so I can get this done, get it all finished up. And then we'll get some more videos of it here pretty soon. Might even get a video, if the wife will allow, of her actually doing some welding, since I've been teaching her how to weld. She's wanting to get out here and weld on some of these rings, so I might get a video of that, so we'll see what happens there. But anyway, if you ain't subscribed, subscribe, rate my videos, comment if you like. Guys, let me know what y'all think, and until the next video, y'all take it easy.